Hello and welcome back to this Weekend Handyman project. This week we're continuing the work on the white two-door beater XJ that I'm repairing the floors on. So far, if you haven't ever seen any other videos, the driver's side floor is all repaired, the rocker is repaired, inner and outer, and a little bit of the dog leg. The next part of the project involved patching the passenger side floor. So in the last installment, we had made the templates to cut out on our metal, and here we are at the point where we had cut that out and had to, or am making a 90-degree bend, so I have a spot to drill some holes and weld this panel to the factory inner rocker on the passenger side of my Jeep. You'll see here in a minute that I then go ahead and drill holes all the way around the outside of both panels, or patch panels that I had to make, so I can then do a lap weld with spot welds along the outside of my panel. My tools of choice are usually a hammer, a vise, and whatever else I can get my hands on. Like right now, I had to grab a piece of wood so I could straighten out the bend that I was putting into my metal. But I've used any number of things, including the concrete that I'm standing on. So, we continue. So, just like I did on my red Jeep, this is what the patches look like on the floor of the Jeep. Now, what has happened here, or why these holes form, I don't think I've explained that yet, is this is where the seat attaches, and there's a strap of metal that runs the complete width of the Jeep and follows the contour of the floor. Well, of course, that allows salt, sand, and any moisture and whatnot to build up under it, and it slowly rots the floor out, and it just so happens that it starts right where the seat bolts to. So one of my patches is directly on the inside seat mount, and the other is the outside. So, of course, I admit this is not professional. A professional would be going through here and butt welding all this, but my skill level and whatnot for bodywork dictates that I do lap welding with holes drilled for spot welds. After this, I go through and seal all the edges inside and out with silicone, and I paint over it. So it is sealed, but I admit that a better way to do this would be to butt weld it together. Alright. So what I'm about to do is temporary, so I can get to this side of the rocker panel. But I did this on the red Jeep. The red Jeep had rot in the rocker panel as well. And what I did, or I'm going to do, is just slice along this seam right here, all the way around the front, all the way in the back, and I'll cut out whatever's left of the inner rocker panel on the back. Now, that actually allowed me to pass inspection here in Massachusetts, and it actually lasted through at least one winter, possibly two, I forget exactly how many. I just cut it out, and then I went and used a tool similar to this and just smoothed everything out inside of there and got all of the flakes of the rot on there and got it down to bare metal as best I can, and then put a coat of paint, or a coat of primer, Rust-Oleum Rusty Metal Primer, and then a coat of high-performance enamel on the inside of there. And it actually lasted and kept it from getting worse. So, that's what I'm about to do here, and that'll take care of this disastrous mess, and to make sure it doesn't get any worse. This is just here to keep too much shit from getting inside the interior, because I just did a quick vacuuming to get all this shit that's been building up in there out. So, I'm gonna suit up and do some cutting.
And just like that, there is no more rocker on this side.
I cut along that seam just like I said, then I cleaned up all the other rot in there. I used my air chisel to hit off all the loose stuff, and I went back with the 90 die grinder, or whatever you call it, and used that special brush that's on there, and took all the dust and shit out of there, or rust dust, and I vacuumed it out, and then everything is primed right now. Most of the floor is, and then obviously under here is. So tomorrow morning when I get up, first thing I'll end up doing is giving everything its truck bed liner, and then it's going to put it back together. And then next, I guess, vacation week or whatnot, I'll do the rock panel on this side. I have had the interior for that Jeep stuffed in the other Jeep all week, so now it's time to pull it all back and put it into this one. That's just the driver's seat and the carpet. But first I gotta hook the wiring all back up and make sure it still works, and then I'll start rebuilding the interior. Should be. So I've got the battery hooked back up. Hopefully I can push the clutch disengagement lever to turn the key. It's actually harder than it seems. It takes quite a bit of force. That's why you use your leg to do it. Like it was never turned off. Battery was a little bit weak, but started right up. Good oil pressure. Alright, the interior is back in. Somehow both tailgates have stayed up all day. Neither of these struts are in great shape. They tend to drop the doors pretty readily. But I guess the Jeeps were farting at each other or something and kept the tailgates up. It's test drive time. So there you have it. That concludes about actually more than a week of work that I put into this Jeep this time around, and I didn't even finish. Granted, I'm not a professional, so it took me longer to do the same amount of work a professional will be able to do, and at a lower quality, but you get the idea. Next time you see this Jeep, I'll be working on the passenger side. I have to do the rocker, inner and outer, and the dog leg just like I did on the driver's side. But if you like the video, be sure to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. The link is in the description. Leave me a comment. Tell me that I do horrible work. I don't care. If you like the video, be sure to share it with all your friends. If you know anybody who likes doing this kind of work, or you want, to give them ideas, who knows? Make sure you share the video. But no matter what, get out there and do something, and come back again next time.